I normally defend the police when they're accused of using too much force because it usually seems justified to me, and being a police officer must be tough. You're the thin blue line the rest of society depends on to deal with the violent subculture who would destroy us all and use our skulls for ashtrays if somebody didn't whack them with a truncheon and put them in jail. But recently, a 92-year-old care home resident with one leg who was in a wheelchair was pepper sprayed, hit with a baton and then tasered by police officers in England. PC Stephen Smith emptied almost a full can of pepper spray into Donald Burgess's face when he refused to drop an item of cutlery similar to a butter knife. Mr. Burgess was then tasered by PC Rachel Kamoto. I've got the footage, but be warned, it will be distressing to anyone who isn't a sociopath, so probably about half of you.
Just pop it down for me, on the floor. Pop it on the floor. Donald, pop it on the floor. As many as we need. Put the knife on the floor now, or you'll be sprayed. Do as you're told. Put it down. Put it down. Donald, put it down.
Seriously?
Last chance.
Can you just hold that door? I can't get a good angle.
Donald, put it down. Put it down now. Come on.
Last chance.
Right, put it down. Drop the knife. Drop the knife. Put it on the floor.
Do it now. Drop the knife.
Donald, drop the knife.
Donald.
Put it down. Put it down. Put it down!
Taser!
I'm not going to show all the footage because you get the idea of what's happening, and this is sick. The guy's got one leg. You can beat him in a fight by walking up some stairs. He's not an immediate threat to anyone. Don't taser him. And tragically, Donald Burgess died in hospital 3 weeks after he was tasered. The police officers are currently facing trial for assault, which they deny. Paul Jarvis, KC, who's prosecuting, told jurors the officers made no attempt to talk to staff and instead approached Mr. Burgess, trying to interact with them. He said instead of trying to calm the situation down, they inflamed it using force that was unjustified and unlawful. Jurors were then told there was nobody within arm's reach of Mr. Burgess at the time and that it should have been clear that he was not mobile. Mr. Jarvis said, "It ought to have been obvious by the fact that he had one leg that this was a man who wasn't going to be mobile. This was an elderly, vulnerable man who may not have understood what was going on. Rather than being met with understanding and sympathy, he was confronted by irritation and annoyance on the part of the defendants. What makes this so galling is the gulf between the treatment of 92-year-old Mr. Burgess, who was armed with a butter knife, and how the police deal with armed mobs of young Muslim men. Last year, riots erupted in the Hare Hills area of Leeds after children were taken into care by social services. A crowd gathered, there were violent confrontations, a police car was overturned, a double-decker bus was set on fire, and police officers faced a barrage of missiles. So what did the police do? They ran away, or in their words, they temporarily withdrew officers to reassess the situation. And after reassessing the situation, they seemed to decide to just let the rioters do what they wanted. Oh, but if we do anything, somebody might call us racist and we'll get in trouble. And in the Southport riots that followed a month later, gangs of Muslim men roamed the streets. Look at these guys, allowed to walk around freely with weapons. Do you think they had modified butter knives? No, they've got machetes and swords and kebab knives. Look at these guys accidentally caught on camera when the mainstream media is trying to smear British protesters as racist, violent thugs.
And the police, and that is when they then ran off across the park here. A big group ran off, looking for trouble, it looked like, to us.
Kind of undermines the narrative they were trying to push. And did the police pepper spray them, beat them and taser them? No, listen to this. They advised the mob to stash their weapons in the mosque to avoid being arrested.
The community, because it's the community that matters. It's the community that we're here for.
Mais j'ai bateau à tirer les chouans.
From this mosque, this small group. If there's any weapons or anything like that, what I would do is discard them in the mosque, leave them here. So you don't give anybody any reason or have any interaction with the police, negative interaction.
Discard them at the mosque? Like, of all the places to have a stockpile of weapons, don't have it at the mosque. Are you not aware of the history of Islam in the West? This treatment is kind of worrying as the numbers of Islamists in Britain grows. Apparently there's 40 to 50,000 Islamists on terror watch lists in the UK, and the Islamists want a violent takeover of this country, and the police don't seem to be on the British people's side. Instead, they seem to be chaperoning the Islamists. The police openly admit that they're there to protect Muslims.
I just need you to understand we're not against you guys. We're
No,
here,
no, no.
We're here to help and protect you.
We all understand. We all understand. Yeah. Appreciate that what you're doing. Thank you.
Oh, but then they found a middle-aged British woman that they could arrest without worrying about being called racist. Yeah, if it's a British housewife who's done a tweet or a 92-year-old man with a butter knife, they can't be tough enough. Why is this? It's because the police are scared. They're scared of the Islamists, who, believe it or not, are a bit more dangerous than housewives and one-legged 92-year-old men. But they're also scared of being called racist if they tackle them. In the wake of the Macpherson inquiry into the killing of young black man Stephen Lawrence, racism became the ultimate worst thing a police officer could be accused of, and our police and our public services underwent decades of indoctrination into the myth that diversity is our greatest strength. So while police officers beating up a 92-year-old man might seem abhorrent to us, that's because we're normal people, not the paid adherents to the cult of multiculturalism. Anyway, let's hope this horrific tragedy is a George Floyd moment for the British elderly and they take to the streets chanting, "I can't breathe without my medication." And they probably won't be taking the knee though. It's not too easy to get back up at that age, because we're going to see more old people treated badly by society. The population of extremely old people is increasing. The number of over 85s is projected to double over the next couple of decades, and as society struggles to look after them, we're going to see old people increasingly seen as a hindrance with the pushing of things such as assisted dying, when what we should really be doing is raising the retirement age. The whole idea of retirement is nonsensical. We're bribing old people to not work using pensions paid for by younger people who are still working. That's obviously an unsustainable Ponzi scheme. Who wants to stop working anyway? Work is a laugh. Anyway, if you want to help me work into my old age and have early access to my videos and the occasional live stream and a regular podcast that's starting soon, I'm just getting an investor lined up, then sign up to my Patreon. It's a way to support me, and it's a genuinely great bunch of people on there, a little community of the only sane people left in the West. Anyway, thanks for listening. I've been Leo Kears. Bye. Bye bye.